Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. So, photos have been circulating in the social media about Raila's meeting with Jalan'go. And before we break it down, I think there's that which I want you to understand. Yesterday on Sunday, Raila Odinga, Eugene Wamalwa, Mwangi wa Iria, and other Azimio leaders were met Uhuru Kenyatta in the afternoon in some location in Karen. And after meeting Uhuru Kenyatta, they drove to Caleb Hamisi's residence in Karen to attend the birthday party of Caleb Hamisi's daughter. So the whole team drove there, and the only person who was not, the only person who did not go is Uhuru Kenyatta. So Raila Odinga allegedly had been invited. So when Raila arrived, according to what we've gathered, Raila got the other leaders there, Kosing, Jalan'go, and other few friends of Caleb Hamisi. And I wanted to make some very keen observation. Let's start with this photo. This is a photo, and I wanted to look at the seating arrangement in the first photo. It is Mwangi wa Iria, Raila Odinga, and the other person is Eugene Wamalwa. Then at this point, you know, there are those who would expect that Jalan'go was here as an MC. He was not the MC. There was that argument. He was not the MC. He was just invited here as a friend to Caleb Hamisi. And Jalan'go and Caleb are friends. I really understand their buddies. So if you look at this photo, Jalan'go is sitting somewhere very far. And I wanted to look at two. There is this one. And I also wanted to look at this other photo. Yes. You even still realize that the sitting arrangement was still as it was. Jalan'go was sitting somewhere very far. Now, that guy carrying the kid, some child there, is a very, I think he's part of Raila Odinga's secretariat. He works in Raila Odinga's secretariat. I actually understand he took over the position of Jaka Kimba. Yes, so he's Raila Odinga's PA. Now, this is somewhere when the meeting, when the party started, or rather when the party was going on. Now, later on, there are these two photos that were shared, and I wanted to look at then how Jalan'go's position changed. Now, look what's going on. Where Raila's PA was seated is where Eugene Wamalwa is sitting, and then Jalan'go took the position of Eugene. You know, this is it. Jalan'go took the position of Eugene Wamalwa, where Eugene Wamalwa was seated. So what happened, he actually left his seat and came to speak with Baba. So, and let me tell you, actually, I know very well that Caleb knew very well of the frosty relationship, how Raila was very disappointed and very angry with Jalan'go when Jalan'go moved the other side. And I think the whole thing has always been misconstructed. The problem was that Jalan'go met with William Ruto. The only challenge is they went and they never consulted the party structures. Not even consulting, just notifying. Actually, the party doesn't refuse, but you just notify. Instead of party leader learning about such a meeting in the social media. It's normally some sort of disrespect. You know, even as a child, even if I want to go somewhere, I can still ask. I may not ask for permission, but I can just say that I'm going to meet place Y, especially in the context of, it's just political discipline. Then it is after sitting there that these other photos also taken. You can see that even the camera person had been instructed. Now, these photos were taken these photos were taken by the photographer who was instructed that that photo was needed. Now, Jalan'go needed that photo. Number one, I think he went there and spoke with Fan, and he might have said, Paul, he would have said, and you know one thing with Raila is an elder. Raila is an elder. There is nothing he has not seen in politics, so it's not a big deal. And he went there looking for that photo. You can see the way they even switched the positions and went there. So it's very clear on what exactly transpired there. Now, it is not by coincidence that Raila and Jalan'go met there. I want to ask you, how many birthdays have been held? How many, if Jalan'go wants to meet Raila, he can get crash some events and go there. I remember when he was talking about disciplinary, when they were asking that they are willing to face the disciplinary, but at least the venue should be changed. If the disciplinary will be at Raila Odinga's, at the ODM premises, ODM party premises, then they can be harassed. Now, I want to link it to this tweet. Caleb Amisi there responded, did a tweet, a very long tweet, and said, if you think Baba has abandoned the cost of living and only interested in power sharing, just go to the street yourself and fight for the cost of living. You expect Raila to die for you, get imprisoned for 8 years, fight for multipartyism and the new constitution, fight for devolution and reforms since you are in diapers, and now you are married with grandchildren, and you still expect him at his age to be chewing tear gas on the streets against policies you voted for. Baba has created an environment for new leaders with requisite charisma, energy and enthusiasm to take over. Political power is never inherited in a democracy. You grab it. To the youth of Kenya, every generation has risen up and done what needed to be done. We are now being called upon as a generation to rise up and do what needs to be done. All right, Raila Odinga, if you are offered something for yourself, Bwana Tafuna Kabisa, if without mercy, you have done your best to the people who are thankless, allow them to either suffer or learn to elect leaders, proper leaders. This tweet was done the same day that Caleb Amisi was hosting Raila Odinga. That shows me here that those around Raila are now asking him that he also needs to enjoy life. In fact, it was just an easy Sunday and people just trying to unwind. This points out clearly the nightmare of ODM rebels, not rebels. The nightmare of the Nyanza rejects. That's the nightmare they're going through. That points out. And I want to say something with a lot of due respect and passion. Nyanza County has how many constituencies? How many counties? Siaya, Homa Bay, Migori, Kisumu. 4. If you include the Kisii side, then it will be Nyamira, Kisii. That's 6. Now, William Ruto went to Nyanza and did a tour for 2 days. The other weekend, I remember he went to 2 counties. It was Siaya, some place in Siaya, in Game, where Elisha comes from, and another place I don't know where, in Homa Bay. And during attending, look at the nature of those events, attending a homecoming ceremony of Raymond Omonlo, and he was in Origo Boys, if I'm not wrong. Then, the next weekend, William Ruto was in the coast for 5 good days. And look at the counties of the coast: Mombasa, Kilifi, Lamu, Tana River. Which one have I left? Mombasa, Kilifi, Lamu, Tana River. 4. Nyanza also has 4. When he went to Nyanza, he went for 2 days. Then the fellows like Jalan'go will have the guts to come and tell people that they went for development. I still insist, nothing like development. And the remaining shamefaced. This is why they are making the U-turn. Expect. They were looking. Why is everyone looking for, needing that image, his photo with Raila? You know, that photo is a campaign photo, by the way. Let me tell you. You can do development and say, I'm doing development here, there. But there are people that they normally fix themselves getting that photo. I'm told of a governor who used to be around every press briefing in Raila, so that I can be seen around Raila. I should not mention his or her name. So, no, it was Gladys Wanga. It was really blamed, really trivialized for that. So, these are the three things that these fellows are facing. Number one, the low profiling during the protests is a thorny issue that I can tell you, avoidance of doubt, the community will not forget. I'm not limited to the community. The ODM or Raila supporters will not forget, because it has emboldened them and seen clearly that there was something. You know, CS Owalo is sitting in cabinet, his interior, his ICT. There is Elisha, there is Jalan'go, there is this, there is that. Then these fellows, when the protests were called, police, government unleashed some militia dressed in uniform. And the Luo, we are going to be afraid of saying this, the Luo community was harshly targeted, especially those who are living in those slums. And the political observers, we were asking, at the end of the day, we also have fellows from Luo Nyanza who are close to Uhuru Kenyatta, or to William Ruto, and they should be fighting for the interest of the community. Why are they not calling this to order? Why are they condemning it? You could see the Kisumu senator coming out to ask, you know when there was some jail, after bail, Babu was released. You know, they even complained. So, in Kisumu, where people died, Kisumu senator has never visited that place. The lawyer, who is close to Raila Odinga, to William Ruto. And that low profiling has, and I was even looking, you look at those posts. People are asking, where are you? Yes, you went to fight for the development. Our people are fighting. You can't fight for the people. You know, that's why you will call Raila all sorts of names. But at the end of the day, he still remains Raila. You know. Secondly, there is the Nairobi youth effect. The Nairobi youth effect is pushing the government, pro-government leaders as betrayers and pushing them to the periphery. The social media effect, the gauchos of this world, of this time and age, there is some youth effect coming. Look at the number of young people that are being arrested and released here and there. That youth effect is coming, and it's coming, it's going to sweep Nairobi not very easy, because I saw the lineup, Sifuna and a team to look out for the Senate, for the governor position, who's going to vie. And Babu wanted to go for Nairobi Senate. You know? So when that lineup, the line of youths now coming, the Nairobi effect is what is making the Jalan'gos know very well that hapa si rahisi. Let me tell you, Gaucho cannot vie against Jalan'go and beat Jalan'go. But Gauchos, the messages they are sending and pushing these people, the way they are consolidating the youth effect around Raila Odinga, especially during the political aggression, it's causing shivers. Lastly, I think these people have realized that Raila Odinga have a soft spot for William Ruto. Because remember, this is also happening in the context of reconciliation. And what Raila wants is anything being done is done in the context of reconciliation. We tone down. So he's also being accommodative and say, let's have everyone. In politics, you also don't have permanent enemies. So, but I know very well that ODM is a party that will just leave you, but at the right time to remember it, when that time comes, they will always remember it. Thank you. That's my bold.